Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're actually going to be installing a wireless blind spot monitoring system in the mirrors of our Tesla Model Y. I'm really excited for this. This is something that I think Teslas have been missing from the factory since day one. Can't wait to share this with you guys. Let's get into it. So as we like to do with this channel, we're going to start off with the unboxing. This kit was sent to me from Tesla C. They're one of the only companies right now that are making this blind spot monitoring kit. I'm really excited to partner with them to bring this video to you guys. So let me show you what we're working with. Inside here, you actually get some replacement mirrors. In all this nice bubble wrap packaging is the replacement mirrors themselves. And I'll kind of describe how this kit works as we unbox it here. So as you actually look at the mirrors themselves, this is what we're going to be replacing, the actual mirror glass on our Tesla. You don't have to run any additional wires or anything crazy all the way through it. Then you can actually see where we're going to be plugging it in right behind our actual mirror center right there. So everything's included. It's got all of the actual pieces and all of the parts right here. It's going to be a simple kind of swap. And you can't really see it right here, but right here is the actual triangle. That's what's going to be our blind spot indicator. And it also does some other really cool stuff with autopilot. This will light up when your car's in autopilot. So really easy so far. This whole thing gets its information from the OBD port, the onboard diagnostics port in your passenger footwell. So this is a little tool they're going to include to help unscrew your actual motor housing in your mirrors, a pry tool to help install your OBD port. And this is it. This is essentially a power harness and a data harness for your OBD port. And this is your actual little transmitter, your wireless Bluetooth transmitter, which is the brains of kind of the operation for you. So this is what's going to send the signal that, hey, there's a car in your blind spot to your mirrors. Extremely cool. Other systems like this, you've had to actually take apart your entire door panels. A huge process to actually do that. Not for this. I can't wait to do this. It's going to be a super simple install. Let's head over to the car and actually get this thing going. The first step we're going to do when installing this blind spot mirror kit is actually installing the brains of the operation, this little wireless computer device here, getting it data and getting it power. All of that's accomplished through this little pillar right here in your passenger footwell. So we're going to open up a little bit of this trim and I'll show you where to plug everything in. The first thing I like to do is just pull off this weather stripping, kind of get it out of my way, move it so it's not going to be in my way as I remove these two pieces of trim. Pull it all the way up, even down here. Next, we're going to take this little triangle piece. I've done this several times, so it's going to pop out pretty easy for me. And then this little piece right here. We also need to kind of remove this piece, which goes all the way down kind of by your feet. It has a couple little push toggles in it. So use your pry tool that they include. Go ahead and pull those push toggles out. They're a little bit finicky, but they're super easy. And then you can actually move this piece out of the way. And I'm going to pull it all the way up and out of the way just so that I can show you what I'm doing down here. So as we come in a little closer, there's one more little push toggle right here that we actually have to move up and out of the way. It's a little dark out right now because it's overcast, so hopefully you guys can see this okay. But using my pry tool, pry that one out, and that just holds this little carpet retention. So this is exactly what we're going to need access to. Down here is our actual power port. We're just going to splice into that, super simple. And back here a little bit, see if I can get you guys an angle. I apologize, it's super dark, but back in here, there's a little blue OBD port. And that's where we're going to be plugging the other end of our little jumper cable into. That's going to get data and power to our actual system. So if I pull this cable over, all we're going to do is take the little data component and the power component. I'm going to unplug what's here in my little data port. And I have several accessories plugged in. No big deal at all. We're just going to daisy chain them together. Go ahead and plug in my new data system or my new power. Plug in my power I just put out right into the new one. Make sure it's nice and secure. Then back in here, I don't have anything currently plugged into my OBD port, but this lets you also include multiple accessories if you want to. So I'm actually going to put this back, and you guys probably can't see this, but I'm just going to find that blue OBD port down here and work it till it's plugged in. And there we go. You got a nice satisfying click. So that's kind of all of the wiring. You're going to have your power and your data. This has an open spot for you to put more accessories if you want to, as well as just daisy chaining things here together on the front. Closing this up is exactly the same way as we took it apart. Putting the actual wires back in here, there's lots of space. Closing up the little carpet tab, putting back your trim, and you're good to go. So now that our wiring is complete, the next step is actually going to be replacing these mirrors. Everything I read and all the videos I watched said these should just pop out with a little bit of force, and then we're just going to have to kind of plug in and splice some wires. So it's actually a super simple install. It should just take a couple minutes. So I turned my mirror all the way to the inside so I can get my finger back here. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of force. See, there we go, and just kind of pry it off. It's more than you'd think, but still it's not an incredible amount of force. You're not going to break anything. So all we're doing is detaching this glass from the actual mirror housing, or the motor housing right there. That's all attached here. So hopefully you can kind of see everything I'm working with. There's some plugs here. First thing we're going to do is unplug these two black wires. These are for your mirror heaters. So they're just pressure fit, so these should just kind of slide off. Just kind of push them a little bit with your finger, and they should slide off with your fingernail. One, and there you go, two. So you have your two actual mirror heater wires, and there's one more wire right here. And we're going to be unplugging this one too. This one has a little indentation I think you need to push down. So if you push that down with a little tool, you should be able to remove it fairly easily. There we go. So you just have to push that little indentation down and it pulls out. And that's kind of all of our wiring. So that's our original factory mirror for our Tesla. We're going to set that down off to the side. I'm working with a little stool right here so I don't smash any of these mirrors. And then you have your actual motor housing. So there's three little screws you're going to have to remove. 1, 2, 3. And what we're going to be trying to get to is a little plug in the back, which is what we're going to splice into to get power. So I'm going to take my time, unscrew these 3 screws. Remember the orientation of my mirror housing. I have the gap on the bottom and the left, and 1 screw with the solid up on the right. All right, once that motor housing is loose, I removed all 3 screws, you can kind of just pull it down a little bit. You don't have a ton of room to work here because it's, they don't give you a ton of wires. What we're going for, hopefully you can see it, is this little blue plug right down in here. We're going to be removing that, and that's what we're going to splice our new mirror into. So this is just a pressure kind of pull, and it's super simple. Now we have our motor housing loose. Remember the orientation, you have it. And we're going to set that down and aside for a second. I'm going to grab my new mirror that came with my kit, and on the end, it kind of looks familiar. You can see the little blue plug, and we're kind of having a little splicing kind of thing. This is like kind of the wireless receiver packet, I think. So I'm going to let this kind of droop down over onto my stool for a second, and I'm going to just kind of splice into that blue wire that I had. Find out the way it's supposed to go. Push it in all the way in like a nice tight fit. We're going to bring back our actual motor housing and plug in the new blue plug right where we took out the old one. There you go. So now our new mirror is kind of attached, pretty much ready to go. I'm going to reinstall the motor housing, and then we're going to hook up the mirror heaters just like we did before. So I'm going to put this back with the screws I just removed in the same orientation. Now I have my motor housing reinstalled, and I have my mirror here and ready to go. I'm actually going to remove the plastic because I need to actually plug in some of the heating components now on the mirror. We're going to move some of this plastic around just on the front here so I can still get it all gross and fingerprinty. But now we're actually going to install our mirror heaters. We're not going to need this third plug we removed, so go ahead and kind of tuck that out of the way. You won't need it here. I'm going to push that back out of the way. And then I have my 2 little mirror heaters, which I'm going to install up at the top here. So you can kind of see what I'm doing. This one's going to go at the top. And this one's going to go at the bottom. Probably can't see it too well because there's not a lot of slack in these actual positions. Next, I'm going to take all this excess cord and wire, just tuck it up in here, find a nice spot where you can. You won't be able to see any of it when it's actually in here. So just take your time, find a nice place for it. There's lots of space. And when that's tucked away nice and neat, we're actually going to just reinstall our mirror onto the actual motor housing. So let's make sure that we can't see that orange piece. Here we go. So it should just be a kind of simple snap-in procedure. Line it up right. And there you go. It snaps back in. Now I have a little bit more room to kind of tuck away that orange wire piece. When I put my mirror back in flat, you won't be able to see that at all. But that's pretty much the entire install. I'm going to go ahead and tilt the mirror back, and we'll see how it looks. And there you have it. I put the mirror back to its original location just by hitting the restore button. We have a completely replaced mirror with the actual blind spot monitoring system in there. Super simple install. Took me about 10 minutes trying to film everything. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process over on the driver's side, and then we're actually going to test this out and see all the things it can do. So I just got back from driving around, testing out all the features of these new blind spot wireless mirrors. I'm really impressed with all the things that they can do. First off, yes, you get your automatic blind spot monitoring whenever there's a car in your blind spot. You get a nice bright orange indicator indicating that there's a car there. This technology has been on cars for probably the last 20 years. Having an indication in the mirror itself, it's kind of what we're all used to. I think it's a really cool feature that they've designed it this way. Better than any little dot on your actual speaker grill, any light that you could have in your dash. I think this is the way to do it. It's our natural indication to look at our mirrors when we're changing our blind spot. So I really like that feature. This also flashes bright red when you turn on your turn signal and there's a car already in your blind spot. So if you are driving around and you have a car in your blind spot and you go to turn, it's going to give you a bright red flash. I think that's really cool. A nice thing that the Tesla screen also does, so it's kind of like redundant protection. So I like how they've designed that as well. The last really cool feature is when you turn on autopilot, not full self-driving, but autopilot, the little indicator lights will glow blue, letting you know that you're in autopilot, maybe even letting other cars around you if they know, hey, I'm in autopilot too. So it's another neat feature. There's no way to really turn it off or on. I just think it's kind of a bonus feature there for us that are still using autopilot on our hardware 3 cars. Mine is a 2022 Tesla Model Y. Hardware 3, so I don't have that hardware 4 yet. So I use autopilot and I really enjoy using it. Lots of functionality built into these mirrors, super simple install. I think it's really cool. I want to wrap up this video giving you my final thoughts on these actual mirrors and if I think it's worth it. I really like them. I love the functionality that they provide to the car, and then it's wireless, right? They do make mirrors like this where you have to take apart your entire door panel, run a wire up through the actual mirror housing and through the grommets and things like that. It's a huge pain in the butt. These are wireless completely. You just do a simple plug and play, a simple mirror swap, and you get that awesome functionality of having blind spot monitoring built in. In my opinion, this is the way Tesla should have come. Many ICE cars for the last 15, 20 years have included this technology in your mirror. That's where people know to look for your blind spot warnings. When there's a car in your blind spot, it's just the way to do it and it just works. I think it's a super simple, efficient safety upgrade. So I really like it. They are on the expensive side. And so I want you guys to be the judge on if you think it's worth it. Right now, these are about $250 for this set on Tesla-C's website. If you use my discount code right here on the screen, Gamble1080, it does help you save over 20% off that price. So it knocks it down to like $184, something like that. So I think for that price, it's actually a very good deal for what you're getting here. I think it's worth it. I think it's a super simple swap. You don't need a dash screen to have blind spot monitoring. You don't need any other fancy lights to have it now. It's just boom, right here on your Teslas, especially for us that have the older school Teslas like the Model Ys or Model 3s that don't have the indication in the new lights, like the Highlands and the Junipers have a little speaker light. These don't have that. So this is a really nice addition for it. I'll let you guys be the judge if you think that's worth it. But please, if you do consider buying, consider using our discount code. We do get a very small affiliate commission. If you do use that code, it does help out the channel at no additional cost to you. So I appreciate you guys checking that out, maybe using that code. If you do purchase anything from Tesla C, it does help me out a lot. If you're interested in any of the upgrades I've other done on my Tesla, feel free to check out my Amazon storefront. I'll have a link in that description as well. You can check out all kinds of Tesla accessories there, all kinds of other stuff I review from Amazon. So please check that out as well. Thank you guys so much for coming back to this video. This is the one I've been waiting for. I'm gonna leave this on my car as long as possible. I really like this. I really appreciate you guys coming back. As I said, feel free to like and subscribe. Lots more awesome content coming up. Have a great day.